Hi, Assalamualaikum to our beloved lecturer, Madam Razina Binti Hassan and my fellow friends. Today, my group and I will present the topic of using information technology towards achieving greater accountability in the Malaysian public sector. Our group members consist of Amirul, me, Nafar Izzati, Azrin, Ifah, Rajesh Azwina, and Alia. But first and foremost, what exactly information technology is? Information technology, or IT, is the use of computers, storage, networking, and other physical devices, infrastructure, and processes to create, process, store, secure, and exchange all types of electronic data. IT is typically employed in the context of business operations as opposed to the personal or entertainment technology. The term public sector accountability usually refers to the relationship between politicians and citizens, as well as public managers. Accountability is always linked to a good governance, which is implied by public organizations that manage public funds, carry out public business, and ensure the realization of human rights in a way that is fundamentally free from fraud and corruption, as well as adhering to the law. Next, I'll pass the next presentation to Mr. Amirul Amri to discuss on the first finding on wide information technology use.
Thank you, Ms. Farah Izzati. Assalamualaikum, my name is Amirul Amri and I will be explaining the application of technology. So, the first one is cloud computing. Cloud computing has ushered in a new era in accounting information systems, cloud accounting. Cloud accounting is defined as a service that provides users with cloud accounting software that can be accessed from anywhere and does not require any hardware or accounting software. According to the findings, system integration, security, and privacy are among the challenges associated with system specification. Apart from that, the findings of the study also found that the number of legacy systems with different system platforms posed a significant challenge in the implementation of 1GF MAS. In order to solve those challenges, it is useful if the Public Sector Data Dictionary (DDSA) and a uniform coding system are implemented, as these will enable the integration of various systems. Also, discussions and debates with the parties involved in the system's integration should be held, as this information will be useful in the future. The 3 auditors from the ministry, an auditor, and a consultant can be made up of a team to overcome such challenges. In the case of Department A at Ministry XYZ, the department is responsible for ensuring that the basic accounting adjustments from cash to accrual accounting are being executed. Users of 1GF MAS will be able to access government data centers from their respective ministries utilizing PCs without downloading any software. Secondly, data and data management. Data management refers to the procedure of consuming, storing, organizing, and managing the data produced and gathered by an organization. The vision is to improve service delivery. Next, it focuses on how to develop a more effective government. Lastly, it focuses on driving the digital economy. However, there might be some challenges that will be faced by the public sector to accomplish those visions. Among them are, in terms of social license, the use of data is restricted by privacy laws as well as by social norms. Apart from that, a culture of data release or extensive data use for administrative, policy making, service delivery, or regulatory purposes does not exist. In the case of innovation, the US-based Climate Corporation uses public sector data to write crop insurance. The Climate Corporation provides weather insurance to farmers based on more than 30 years worth of publicly available government weather, soil, and crop data. The company is now valued at over $1 billion. The next application is blockchain. Blockchain is a method of recording information in such a way that it is difficult or impossible to alter, hack, or cheat the system. The authors of the article focused their research on the role and possibilities of blockchain technology in the ongoing development of shared service centers (SSC) supporting unique public sector units, taking into account not only the possible economic benefits of the solution, but also the energy and the environmental benefits. The next application is blockchain. Blockchain is a method of recording information in such a way that it is difficult or impossible to alter, hack, or cheat the system. The authors of the article focused their research on the role and possibilities of blockchain technology in the ongoing development of shared service centers (SSC) supporting unique public sector units, taking into account not only the possible economic benefits of the solution, but also the energy and the environmental benefits. According to the case of SSC in Elbląg, Poland, the process of establishing an SSC began in 2019 and the unit began delivering shared services in early April 2020. The use of blockchain technology in SSCs allows for the complete digitization of the service offered, lowering the number of office supplies used, and document movement activities to a bare minimum. I will pass the presentation to Ms. Shazwina.
Thank you, Amirul. My name is Rajesh Shazwina. Let's continue with another technology used in accounting, which is artificial intelligence. As the name implies, artificial intelligence (AI) refers to human-made software which mimics the way people think and gather information. It uses machine learning systems to incorporate routine activities and gets better the more frequently it is used. Machine learning involves computers that can identify patterns in data and learn from them. The example of routine activities includes bookkeeping. Bookkeeping can be time-consuming, especially when it involves a large amount of data such as receivables and payables data. Thankfully, this is where AI comes to the rescue. Machine learning offers significant advantages when countering large data volumes much more than humans ever could. AI exploits big data, which allows humans to save hours of working time in return. Simply said, humans cannot analyze and get insight from the massive amounts of data collected. By using machine learning, AI can also detect faulty transactions that can lead to fraudulent activities. For example, when a batch of counterfeit documents is indicated from legitimate documents, the computer will learn and look for patterns to distinguish one kind from another. Thus, AI can be the best tool to keep up with the workload of the accountants with hindered human error and minimize fraudulent and non-compliance risks. However, there are always limitations to human-made inventions, despite the technology being deemed to be powerful. Even though AI seems to replace accountants to reduce labor and mistakes to reduce costs, AI bears several weaknesses that only real humans can overcome. One of the weaknesses is that machine learning and AI are not particularly flexible. Models learn to carry out very specific tasks based on a given set of data, for example, data on receivables, to be analyzed and to be updated in receivables aging report. Other than that, the outputs of machine learning models are predictions or suggestions based on mathematical calculations, and not all problems can be resolved in this way. This indicates that humans are still needed to make final decisions according to the outputs contributed by AI and machine learning. In the end, this so deep powerful technology may be irreplaceable, but it can be also impaired in functionality with the inexistence of real humans. As the leading audit company in the club, all of the big four companies use AI in their daily business operations. KPMG analyzes every document in an audited firm using AI technology to enhance its audit operations. Deloitte employs AI to enhance document evaluation for commercial operations, including audits, contract management, and lease agreements. Meanwhile, PwC uses predictive analytics, cognitive computing, and machine learning, while EY integrates AI into their consulting business. This shows that AI can complement the accounting industry and may even be the reason of industry growth, since it creates much more areas for accountants to cover and consult on. I will pass the presentation to the next presenter.
Thank you, Ms. Rajesh Shazwina. Now, I will continue the presentation with the effect of information technology in achieving a greater accountability in Malaysian public sector accounting. So, what is accountability? Accountability is about how an organization creates a commitment to respond and balance the need of stakeholders in its decision-making and natural processes, and then it is used to deliver the service in accordance with this commitment. Any system that focuses on accountability contribute to the increased credibility and legitimacy within the stakeholder, the stronger governance structure, and increased organizational learning and innovation. Therefore, with the usage of IT, public sector can achieve a greater accountability. Next, one of the effects is that IT aids in public sector accountability by making information more readily understandable and accessible to those who need it, meaning that users can have a better access from anywhere and anytime they need it. The system can store, organize, and access all financial and approved budget information easily and complete the inventories of financial assets and liabilities. Next, IT also aids government agency in establishing a specific objective for their operation, and this can help the public servant to have a clear goals and achieve the accountability. Malaysia's public sector still needs to be held to a higher standard of accountability. Therefore, in order to provide a better services to the public, the government must constantly strive to improve the system within its own organization. So now I will pass the presentation to the next presenter.
Thank you, Ms. Ifa. So most countries are not able to employ IT to manage their government activities because of the advancement of technology. Almost every country, including Malaysia and South Korea, has made significant progress towards integrating technology into government operations. However, there are still challenges of developing e-government. Muhammad Ramli suggests that technical infrastructure is the first factor to consider when comparing the e-governments of Malaysia and South Korea. In rural areas, Malaysia's e-government lacks quality technical infrastructure and internet connection due to low government funding. On the other hand, South Korea has substantially invested in establishing a robust technical infrastructure that makes it possible to operate any e-government application. Secondly, the legislative framework of the country becomes an important aspect in the adoption of e-government. South Korea has a comprehensive legal framework that encompasses all linked areas including commerce, while Malaysia must evaluate all legislation, rules and policies to make them current, relevant and online friendly. When it comes to implementing complete rules and regulations to support all of the Malaysia's e-government areas, Malaysia is slightly at a disadvantage. Thirdly, adopting IT in the public sector is hindered by the lack of funding. Malaysia's financial constraints have a significant impact on the country's e-government infrastructure. Malaysia lacks the financial resources to make major IT investment. Meanwhile, with appropriate government funding and business sector involvement in the early stages of implementation, e-government activities in South Korea were less challenging. For example, about 8.6 billion USD of the Informatization Promotion Fund was spent by the South Korean government to build a high-quality information and communication technology infrastructure. Next, the unwillingness of public officials and citizens to change, which was acknowledged as a human infrastructure problem, is one of the largest challenges Malaysia has yet to overcome in becoming e-government. Fear of losing their jobs to technology drives people to resist change and stay put in their own methods rather than adapt. Lack of desire and no change in management training have made things even worse. On the other hand, South Korean public officials and population were found to be quick learners and adapted to new situations, making the human infrastructure issue manageable. They have a different mentality, which is pali-pali mentality, which refers to a fear of wasting time or falling further behind, which has a strong influence on how readily they accept new technology. However, like any benefits of rapid technological adoption, there are some drawbacks, such as the rise of antisocial and internet addicts in South Korea. That's all. I will now pass the presentation to Ms. Arya.
The use of information technology in the government has increased the efficiency, effectiveness, transparency, and accountability of government management to conduct good governance. Government must carry out accountability to the public and produce evidence of its accountability. So, what are the strategies in implementing information system towards achieving greater accountability in Malaysian public sector? Firstly is promoting IT governance awareness campaign in Minister of Finance. The Minister of the Finance function is to formulate and implement fiscal and monetary policies to ensure effective and efficient distribution and management of financial resources. MOF had used information system in the operation of the Treasury. Even though the use of information system is important to MOF, the business process managers are still having a low level of understanding of the strategic role of IT in MOF. Therefore, IT stewardship in MOF could promote the IT governance awareness campaign to help them to perform their responsibility in measuring and communicating the value of ICT to the rest of the function departments in the agency. We believe the leaders could also prioritize the ongoing communication with their employees to align the goals, and the employees will clearly understand what they are accountable for, so that they could bring success that will impact the organization's achievement and employees' understanding of the ICT objective. Therefore, we could see that the enhancement of accountability of public sectors could be achieved from the leadership practices. Secondly is implementing enterprise architecture framework in Economic Planning Unit. Economic Planning Unit is the principal government agency under the Prime Minister Department that is responsible for preparing development plans for the nation. They also need to prepare the budget, control and evaluate development programs, carry out economic research and advise the government on economic issues. All EPU staff rely on IT because of email, but they have a low understanding of the role of ICT in strategic IT issues, technology insight and capabilities, since the business people think that they still can work without IT. Thus, enterprise architecture framework implementation will help to achieve standardized and high collaboration between IT and the business people, because the EA approach facilitates the internal alignment with the business process and IT. We believe that EPU could ensure that they are accountable and could achieve their intended outcomes while acting in the public interest at all times by implementing enterprise architecture framework. Therefore, the enhancement of the accountability of public sector could also be achieved through a good internal control system. Lastly is implementing strategic plan system in the Implementation Coordination Unit. The Implementation Coordination Unit functions as a secretariat under the Prime Minister Department, mainly to coordinate, monitor and evaluate the implementation and outcome of Malaysia's 5-year development plans. It also manages, implements and monitors the allocation of the Prime Minister's special projects and to coordinate, monitor and evaluate projects for people's welfare. ICU has been given the mandate to oversee the implementation of electronic government and catalyze the success of the Multimedia Super Corridor MSC. A system known as a strategic plan system was developed to monitor and track projects using key performance indicators. Every head of this division in the ICU is responsible to monitor project progress under their division using a scorecard, thus easing the tracking of strategic plan execution for the entire agency. As an example, the IT department uses a scorecard to record response time taken by IT staff to cater needs of a client, which is the ICU staff, and system availability. Therefore, we could say that the enhancement of the accountability of public sector could be achieved through the integrity of the system that had been applied.
Thank you, Ms. Alia. Next, we move to the enhancement of the accountability of public sector. Monitoring the transparency and efficiency of government administration is now considered a public right. Understanding how to increase accountability in the public sector is crucial for ensuring good governance. Thus, we will discuss the organization internal factors in order to improve accountability in the public sector, which are the integrity system, internal control system, and leadership qualities. Firstly, integrity system for accountability in the public sector. In an organizational context, integrity refers to the characteristics of organizational behavior that represents the quality of acting in accordance with moral values. As a result, it is assumed to have a direct influence on organization action and decisions, and management plays an important role in shaping an organization's integrity. In government, their ultimate goal is to protect the public interest through an efficient and effective governance system that improves rights, protections, demonstrates accountability and integrity in their daily activities. The strength of integrity is indicated by a good balance between external demand values and perceived needs. Employees are more likely to comply when they have integrity, and it also helps to instill values that support a commitment to ethical behavior. Therefore, an organization's integrity system must play a crucial role in ensuring accountability. Second, internal control systems and accountability in the public sector. Organizations face numerous risks on a daily basis in business, including failures of internal control mechanisms, non-compliance, and regulatory violations. A good internal control system will help an organization prevent bad financing while also assisting the organization in working effectively while detecting errors in its operation. The importance of internal control systems have been viewed as useful tools in ensuring a company's overall success and increasing shareholder values. In the public sector organization, the role of internal control is to support the system established while fostering the decision makers' accountability. Higher reliance on the control system is always associated with higher expectation for improving organizational accountability. Since the internal control system places an emphasis on accountability, implementing it in the public sector seems essential at every stage of improving accountability in the public sector. Thirdly, leadership practice and accountability in the public sector. To support leadership as it is described, it is necessary to balance managerial and personal authority appropriately. Those who have demonstrated this ability have been able to grow their emotional intelligence and have access to a variety of leadership philosophies. Improvement in teamwork, quality and safety and innovation can all be attributed to effective leadership. In light of the current situation, the organization public sectors needs someone who not only has managerial skills but also leadership charisma. As a result, when the leader's behavior differs too much from what the followers expect, negative consequences can occur, undermining individual and work group performance. In order to achieve greater accountability within the public sector organization, focus on developing the appropriate characteristics of leadership must be achieved. In conclusion, there is a connection between accountability and the use of IT. A system and procedures to protect the nation must be in place. However, the control system in IT needs to be developed to reduce complexity while still providing adequate protection for all stakeholders in order to accommodate and serve with efficiency and accountability. Thus, it is crucial to recognize that utilizing IT and adding the control factor will help to increase accountability. That's all from us. Thank you so much.